tracking it with what we can expect. It feels like we're all over the place this weekend.
We are. Tis the season, honestly. This is very spring-like kind of pattern that we're stuck in, guys. We've got the flood alerts that are already up for parts of the South, specifically the Gulf Coast. New Orleans included in there, Baton Rouge as well. Some of these showers lifting essentially from the Gulf Coast up into portions of Tennessee, Arkansas, and we're going to be unsettled across this region through the day today. So here's how this all plays out. There is a cold aspect of this system. That's part of the northern tier that we're going to see snow and ice. But really across the Ohio Valley and points south of that, we could see some of these kind of late day storms kicking up. Specifically, eastern Kansas is where we'll see the threat for severe weather through the day today. And then by tomorrow, that really ramps up. We're going to have widespread severe potential outbreak from Texas to Ohio. We've got plenty of rain associated with that, and the snow and ice continue as well from Minnesota to Maine. By the time we finally get through the weekend and into Monday, the East Coast dealing with some of those showers and thunderstorms, again, stretching from Maine all the way down to Florida. We'll see some gusty conditions with those. But the severe threat is going to be something that we watch through the day today, centered specifically from Kansas City to Oklahoma City. We'll have all the threats on the table for about 7 million people, but specifically hail, golf ball size hail is our biggest threat. And as we get into the day tomorrow, this expands. Notice Michigan all the way down to Texas. We'll see specifically Indianapolis, St. Louis, Paducah, Memphis, Little Rock, all included in that enhanced risk. And this means that we're looking at strong, long-lived tornadoes potentially. You can see the areas that we're going to be watching for that. EF2s or higher. We have the potential for hail and gusty winds as well. Peter?
All right, Angie, see you back in a bit.
Secretary of Defense.
Smiling.
Listen, the Michigan State battle is very, very real. So you and Steve, I don't know. We're going to have to see who wins that one. All right, guys. For folks that aren't into maybe the sports of it all in March, maybe you're into the temperatures because, boy, we're going to see warm conditions south of this front. Temperatures in New York City today hitting 83 degrees. This is a June-like feel for a lot of people. You move just up the road to Boston, though, 40 degrees, feeling much more like winter, say, for our friends there. 20 to 30 degree temperature differences with a couple of record high potentials for New York City and then potentially a record cold high in parts of Maine. So a bit of a different story depending on where you are. Tomorrow, more of the same for parts of the Great Lakes in the Midwest. We've got the low 70s to the upper 70s across parts of Indianapolis and Springfield. And then we head from the 80s in Raleigh on Monday to the low 70s by the time we get to Wednesday. Let's look at the weather across the country. Let's see what's happening in your neighborhood. And that's a look at your forecast, guys.
Angie, thank you very much. Still to come right here, some of Hollywood's biggest stars are taking the stage. Side, Angie.
Guys, it's cold in some spots. I know it's going to be warm and well into the 80s for a lot of us today, but look at the northern tier of the country. We've still got winter alerts, parts of the Great Lakes, parts of New England, stretching really from Maine to New York. We've got northern Michigan, Minneapolis, Ashland, all included in these winter alerts. And it's all part of that same system that's giving us that kind of weather whiplash. So yes, the warm weather south of it, but temperatures are going to be quite chilly and perfect for us to see some of the snow and ice accumulating for the northern tier of the country. So that snow and ice causing some slick spots, essentially, again, across parts of the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and stretching into New England today. As we get into tomorrow, more of the same. It kind of works out of parts of the Midwest, but still we're dealing with a mess here as we get to tomorrow. It'll be difficult travel and the potential for power outages on your Sunday as well. Let's look at the weather across the country. Let's see what's happening in your neighborhood. And that's a look at your forecast, guys.
Angie, thank you so much. Just ahead for you, fed up. Consumers cutting back on...
We are back now with this morning's Pop Star Joe. What's a poppin'? All right, first up, we got...
Welcome to Miami, but I didn't get a chance. Okay, that was good. You just come on,
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince performed at my high school in the 90s, which is a very random fact.
Wait, that's kind of cool.
I know, it is cool.
That picture next week. I love it.
There we go. All right, next up, Mikey Madison's star is rising very quickly.
Yeah,
I guess
fun.
Morgan Wallen takes the subway if he's talking about the rats.
Right?
I feel like they're better.
Yeah, they are on the streets, too.
Don't you think they're better?
The rats don't run this city, we do.
I like that energy, Angie. Still to come, our Saturday morning boost. And a birthday is tracking it all for us. What are you looking at?
Hi, guys. We've got some strong storms that are possible. We've also got some flooding concerns, and the flood alerts are up for parts of the Gulf Coast right now, including Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Some of this rain working north, and you can see kind of the most active weather centered across parts of the Gulf Coast for now. But this really ramps up here as we get into the later parts of today and specifically into tomorrow. Here's what we're looking at today. Just a mess of this storm with some of these late day thunderstorms popping up essentially across parts of the Midwest and stretching to the Gulf Coast. We've got the snow, the ice on the northern tier of the country from this same system. And as we get into tomorrow, that line of thunderstorms really gets going. This is when we'll see widespread severe storms possible and more of that ice and snow across parts of the Midwest and stretching into New England. By Monday, this hugs the East Coast, and then eventually it'll be out of here. But we've got to get through the next couple of days with that severe threat specifically. Today, it's Kansas City to Tulsa, including Oklahoma City, where we could see some golf ball size hail. There's 7 million people included in this. The wind gusts and an isolated tornado, all possible as well. And again, this is this evening into tonight. So after dark, that could still be a possibility for folks in that region. This expands a whole lot for tomorrow. 72 million people included in the severe risk. It goes from Michigan all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Indianapolis, St. Louis, Little Rock, Memphis, Nashville, Louisville, all of those locations, some spots that you're going to want to watch specifically for those strong, long-lived tornadoes. But we could also see the potential for some damaging hail and those, and of course, the flooding concern will be across this region. But those tornadoes for these locations going to be something that you'll want to watch. This will last all the way into tomorrow afternoon. Guys, back over to you.
All right, Angie, thank you.
There has been
Over to Angie. I got some good stuff over here for us, Angie.
Laura, I'll take one of everything, please, and thank you. All right, weather-wise, we're a little bumpy today in a couple of spots. We've got that snow and ice across the northern tier of the country, specifically the Midwest, stretching to New England. It's snow, it's ice. It's going to make travel difficult for folks across that region. We've also got the rain and the potential for stronger storms for parts of the middle of the country. But notice Wichita to Dallas. I mean, clear skies for folks there. As far as our temperatures go, it's going to be a warm one for a lot of people, specifically south of that front. Temperatures across the mid-Atlantic, we're expected to get into those mid-80s. New York City today, 83 degrees. It's going to be very summer-like across that region. That goes for parts of Texas and Oklahoma as well. We'll deal with that rain and snow here again from Michigan, stretching into parts of the Rockies, and we'll see some rain out west as well. As we get into tomorrow, the severe storms is going to really be what we're focusing mostly on. But west of that, we've got nicer conditions. Again, parts of the plains will see quieter kind of Sunday. We'll still see a little bit of clear skies across parts of the East Coast, but then that rain really gets your attention, and it does focus again from parts of the Great Lakes all the way down to Florida. We'll see temperatures kind of moderating out as we get through our weekend. Let's look at the weather across the country. Let's see what's happening in your neighborhood. And that's a look at your forecast, guys.
Angie Lassman, thank you very much. Still ahead right here, what you've been looking forward to. We celebrate 30 years of the popular Irish dance troupe who put together Riverdance, and maybe we will even try out a little bit of fancy footwork. It's right after this. Be good.
We're back with what some of you may recognize as the sounds of Riverdance, the Irish dance troupe marking its 30th anniversary this year.
Yes, Riverdance.
From a block away, so we invited them inside. We are so happy to have Anna and the Fitzpatrick family joining us. They are the first brother-sister duo to star in Riverdance. Anna Mae and Fergus, we're so glad that you guys are here.
Oh, thank you for having us.
So Riverdance 30 is billed as the new generation. Why is that, and why is it so important that you both be a part of it?
Well, it is so special to be there, and all of the creatives as well.
That is so cool. Fergus, you've been dancing basically your entire life. You've been with Riverdance for nearly 8 years. What's it like doing this, especially with your sister?
Oh, it's an absolute dream come true. As you said, classes in our primary school, it's an unbelievable experience to get to tour the world, doing what you love with your sibling.
Unbelievable experience that I think we should all try out. What do you think about showing us a couple moves and see how we all do?
Absolutely.
Okay,
we're going to teach you a simplified version of the iconic Riverdance line.
Stretch it out, Peter.
Yeah, here we go. So let's start with our right foot in front.
Oh, Lord.
We're going to go 5, 6, 7, stamp.
Okay.
Then
5, 6,
7, stamp. Then we're going to go left point, right, left, and now cut. Yeah, now we're going to do the same thing again. That's a cut.
Okay.
Very
Let's do it
good.
once together. Ready?
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stamp. Left, right, left.
That's it?
Cut. Right.
I think.
How are you doing this in heels?
I think in the heels, this is a little bit tricky. Can you show us how it's actually done? Can you show us how the pros do this?
I think I pulled a hamstring.
guys don't have bones. It's amazing. I don't know how you guys do that. Anime Fergers, that was awesome. Thank you both.
Thank you
so much.
I think we have a lot to learn.
Exactly. This is where it starts. All right, we'll be right back.
You were so with your mic.
Be sure to tune into another all-new Nightly News Kids edition this morning. I'm going to introduce you to...
Nice. We want to say a big thank you to some of our friends in studio today. We are representing the whole country. Bend, Oregon, San Diego, Alexandria, VA in the house.
Peter Alexander Fan Club. How much you pay them for that?
How late were you at making those signs, Peter?
The
My
Smithsonian
goodness.
wants it signed back.
I'm framing that.
I love this so much. Have a great Saturday.